Roll up for the Mario Kart Tour. Oh, Jeff, I fucked it up. I referenced the wrong Beatles song.
Well, you have to start warning me with these Beatles references, because 2 episodes in a row now, you're just catching me fully off guard, not ready to banter.
If you're doing it right, I'd be catching you fully in guard.
Well, I don't know if we're going to do it right or do it wrong, but why don't we do it in the road?
Hello.
The Mario Kart road. That's a Beatles reference too.
Welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
And I'm Jeff. I think it's time to start over. Gibbon in the live stream chat also agrees.
No, what? We don't have time to start over, Jeff. This is a busy week. E3 is upon us. And time is money, and I can't just have a wanton do-over of the conversation. No, not when we have a live conversation this Friday that I need to tend to. No, we've got to get this one in the can and out the door. Got to kick it down the road that you want to do it in. E3 2021, it's almost here. I just got into the E3 2021 Media Hub. So this is exciting. Yeah, DK,
you're in Doc Central now.
Hey, it's like Double Jeopardy. I can't be doxxed by E3 twice.
Right. Your phone number and address are already out there.
Right. And
what's the worst that could happen now?
It's like, what am I gonna, whoops, I got you pregnant. What am I gonna do? Get you pregnant again? No, it's fine.
Yeah. The uterus is used up. Let's move on.
So, I got my E3 media credentials approved over the weekend, which was exciting in that, what does that even entail this year? Well, it might mean I can snag some interviews. So, DK Vine's Donkey Kong journalism will be going hard all week, trying to digitally chase down the creators of our favorite games, trying to snag interviews or FaceTime. So anyway, yeah, that's exciting. I had to set up my little profile, and they make you create an avatar of yourself, and I'm like, this is weird. Can I just put a picture? You've already doxed me. What does it matter? I'll put up with one of my nudes. It's fine at this point, but yes, dkvine.com, Jeff. dkvine.com. That's where you need to check all week long if you're a fan of Donkey Kong, the broader Donkey Kong universe, Rare, Platonic. If you like that stuff, then you wanna check us out. Check out the website, but also social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kongversation on your preferred podcast listening dispensary. Because, yeah, we're going to be having conversations all week long about the various shows and reveals. Hopefully we'll have some reveals to talk about. But anyway, dkvine.com, that's where you'll find me. You'll find Jeff there too, but you'll also find Jeff on Golden Sands blog post. If you're really into Sea of Thieves, Jeff runs that with our good friend Dre, and that's all about Sea of Thieves and Sea of Thieves news and updates. It's how I stay abreast with all the happenings in that game.
Yeah, so that was medium.com/golden-sands-blog post, or you can get there quicker just on Twitter at Golden Sands Blog.
Yeah, or you can go to DK Vine.
There's like a DK Vine, yeah?
dkvine.com/Golden Sands blog post. And I also have
even easier. So
I also have a link to it under our Friends tab on the site. So you just go to Friends.
I also tattooed a QR code shortcut on the head of my penis, which does not work because it's distorted by the contours of the head of my penis. Doesn't function.
Now, is that your avatar on E3's Media Hub?
Well, I didn't get around to doing the thing. I didn't get on the hub because and I was telling this to Hyle. I've got E3 on the mind, kinda, but also my brother's getting married on Saturday. Before E3 here. And so my mind is elsewhere. But I said, you know what? I got a lot going on. I'm the best man. I got a lot going on. But I can surely stop by to talk to Hyle about Crash Bandicoot. And then I can surely do a stream of Thieves on Sunday. And then I can surely stop by to talk about Mario Kart Tour today. And, I think that I'm probably going to be roped into a whole lot more in the next week.
You will be.
I might even go to my brother's wedding.
What you should do, Jeff, is for his toast, at the reception, the best man has to give a toast. You should just recite this episode of the Kongversation verbatim. You should do both voices, yours and mine, and that should be the toast.
Kyle, how will I ever impersonate a white American male?
It'd be a tough challenge, but I believe in you because you're a method actor. You've been living it for, how old are you now? 15 years?
I don't remember the bit. I think I'm 15 now.
But yes, we are discussing Mario Kart Tour on this last stop before E3. So Jeff, I wanted to do this episode because I wanted to clear the air a little bit, because the air was a little stanky. So, if you've been following DK Vine the past however many years, few years, you'll know that by nature, I'm not really a cynical person. There was a time, if you've been following DK Vine way back, where, in my teens and most of my 20s, that's probably how I defined myself, was a cynic. Somebody who was pessimistic by nature, contrarian even. But that was mostly owing to my self-loathing, my intense depression, and after doing some intense psychological work on myself, I realized that I'm actually, at heart, an optimist who always tries to find the good in things, the silver lining. Even if I don't like something, I'll try to come away with an opinion where, but I did like this aspect of it. So I know as a content creator, that is completely counter to how people normally get clicks, because that's not what drives engagement. Outrage drives engagement. Schadenfreude drives engagement. People want to be pissed about something. And that's just not me. And I don't want DK Vine to be about that. So, it's rare for me to outright trash something. I'm always trying to look at a project, even if it's not something that really speaks to me. I'm trying to look for the good and accentuate that. But that being said, so Gibbon and I have done 3 episodes on Mario Kart Tour in the past year and a half, going on 2 years. Back in season 7, we did our first impressions episode. Then when they added Funky and Dixie, or Dixie and Funky, to the game last year, we did our Funky Dixieland episode in season 8. And then later that summer,
very clever pun.
Yeah, I like that one. Not a lot of people got it because they don't understand our music references, Jeff. Because for whatever reason, gaming and being a music nerd, they don't really correspond. The stars don't align that often. So
let's not say it's not that we're a nerd. It's that we both have the musical taste of a man in their early 60s. Yeah. And it just happens that we also both like Donkey Kong.
Sometimes I wonder if I've started a cult, and you were my first indoctrinated member, like my weird cult of Donkey Kong and 60s British invasion bands. But no, I hope I haven't brainwashed you, Jeff. I hope. No,
I think we just have the same origin story.
Okay,
I think it's like Batman and Oliver Queen. We just are kind of the same thing.
I tell myself, well, if the Scientologist didn't want Jeff, then surely he wouldn't fall to my wiles. But yeah. Anyway, we also did the Donkey Kong Jr. Episode. It was Donkey Kong Jr. in Mario Kart Tour, ? That was a mini episode from last summer. Anyway, so the overall impression that Gibbon and I gave on those 3 episodes was, I hate Mario Kart Tour. Gibbon was probably the more optimistic of the two of us when it came to the game, but I hated it. Like, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the point of it other than a way to shake people down for money. And looking back, there might be a few reasons for that. My introduction to the game, actually playing the game, was poor. Because my iPhone was poor. It was very old, and it had a cracked screen, and the battery life was practically non-existent. So I could only play for really short spells, or else my phone would just die. So that you know, what I saw of it, what I experienced of it, was a Mario Kart game completely stripped of the nuance of gameplay. And everything that defined the series for me in the past was absent. All I saw in Mario Kart Tour was a cheap cash-in trading on the Mario Kart name that provided nothing but the shallow, empty calories of bombast and spectacle without anything backing it up. And I saw, like, it was an attempt to hoodwink the gullible mobile gaming rubes to fork over money to, chase characters they wanted, because it works so well for them with Pokemon Go. And, Pokemon Go, I'll say this, it's a novel concept, and it got a lot of people out to vote, so I don't have any problems. I don't have any philosophical issues with Pokemon Go. But Mario Kart Tour, on the other hand, it's just a game that's less of a game than the other games called Mario Kart. And I hated it. And I expressed that. I expressed that quite a bit on those 3 episodes. So much so that I know it was off-putting to people who wanted to hear my deep thoughts on Mario Kart Tour, and all I gave them was vitriol. So,
You know what? I didn't even realize that you've done 3 of these. This is the 4th time that you're talking about this.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess that could get old if you just hated it every time. But, well, this one's going to be different, so relax.
It's going to be different, yeah. So, if you were turned off by my opinions on Mario Kart Tour in the past 3 episodes, stay tuned, because you might be pleasantly surprised. So, around early spring being spring in the Northern Hemisphere here, I finally broke down and got myself a new iPhone, because I couldn't charge my old one. It just wouldn't charge anymore. So there was one night where I had to do this whole routine where I propped up my phone on the nightstand, and I had to stand it up against the wall with the charger in just a certain way to catch a charge. And then once I did that, I would just have to leave it alone and hope it doesn't fall in the middle of the night. And that's how I would charge my iPhone. And one night it just wouldn't catch a charge at all. And I was like, oh, fuck, this means I have to go into Verizon tomorrow morning and get a new phone, which I hate because there's all of this. Well, for one thing, it's a lot of money. And 2, I just don't. I mean, this was pre-vaccine, so you have to sit there wearing a mask with someone you don't know, and you're just like, yeah, I want this phone. Okay, now I have to do this and agree to this and do this, and it's like it's all of the charm of a doctor's appointment without any of the exciting discoveries about your own body. Hyle,
let me get this straight. You shop like you go to a building.
Yeah.
To shop? Like you leave your house?
Yeah, I left my house, Jeff.
Wow.
I know.
Right.
It was terrifying.
I'm just processing.
It was terrifying. So, anyway, I got a new iPhone. The actual experience was quite pleasant, I have to say. I was surprised. I went early on a Saturday morning. Nobody else was in there but me and the Verizon employee. And so it wasn't full of disease-carrying morons hoping to get baby Rosalina in Mario Kart Tour. So I was happy. And then I was reinstalling my apps later that day, and I was thinking, well, I guess I need Mario Kart Tour. because it is DKU. I might not like it, but it is DKU. It's like eating Brussels sprouts. The texture is terrible, but they're vegetables and they're on your plate. You need to finish them.
They're in the broccoli universe, so you have to.
Yeah, right. So I groaned and I grimaced. But see, the thing is, Jeff, I like broccoli. So I was going to say broccoli, and I was like, well, that comparison doesn't hold up because I actually enjoy a good slice of broccoli in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm all about a little broccoli. Brussels sprouts, though, they can really fuck right off.
Yeah, no,
I'm not going to do it.
Brussels sprouts are horrible. The texture, they're like little baby lettuce.
They're like the Mario Kart Tour of vegetables, if broccoli is a real Mario Kart game.
Yeah,
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But anyway, I re-downloaded Mario Kart Tour, and then I was thinking, I was like, well, hey, I could actually play this for longer than a couple rounds without worrying about my phone blowing up in my hand. So I might as well. I mean, I didn't have a lot going on that day, so I booted it up, and I actually connected it to my real Nintendo account this time, and so I basically started from scratch, and somewhere along the way, and I don't know when it was over the course of a day or two, maybe a few days, I made a startling discovery. Mario Kart Tour can be kind of fun if you give it enough time. And I know that's a mind-blowing review right there. Like that, if there was a box that this game came in, they would surely put that pull quote right on there. But I didn't really mention it a lot on the Kongversation, but this was clear to anyone who follows DK Vine on social media or just talks with me. Because Jeff, you noticed it. You noticed I had an interest in this game all of a sudden because you started to play it. And that's why I invited you on this episode and not Gibbon, since she said she uninstalled it on her phone, and I was like, oh, okay. Cause I was thinking about having Gibbon back, but then I was like, well, Gibbon's already uninstalled it, so Jeff has been playing it. It might be interesting to get the perspective of Jeff, who just started playing it seemingly after I rediscovered it. So that's why I invited you here, Jeff, on the week of your brother's wedding.
Yeah, on the week of my brother is to be married. You come to me, and yeah, I have been playing it. It's kind of become a part of my daily routine most days, and so it'll be fun to give my thoughts because I haven't done that really anywhere. I haven't really talked much about this game to anyone except some small conversations with you while we play Sea of Thieves, but right.
Yeah, because you're
on the phone.
Yeah, you're the one DK Vine staffer who's been playing it and talking about it, except for me. And so yeah, so let's get into the hidden joys of Mario Kart Tour. What I couldn't appreciate when I had a shit phone. So let me throw that caveat in here. If you have a shit phone, if your smartphone just can't hold up playing a game like this, then maybe none of this will apply to you, because it certainly didn't apply for me back in the day, back in Kongversation Season 7 and Season 8's continuity. But here in the Kongversation Season 9, now that I got a nice brand spanking new iPhone, I'm able to appreciate this game. Like you, it's become part of my daily routine. I get into it at least once a day, even if it's just getting my little daily reward, and now doing the daily challenge, the race you do, you can do every day. And if you get a reward for doing that race. And then if you do all of the races, every day, then you get, a little badge. But I at least do that stuff. I check the shop. I'm in there. And what I find too is it's fun when I'm just like, when I'm done for the night, when I'm done with DK Vine, when I'm done with work, and I'm just sitting on the couch and Netflix is on or whatever streaming service I have on, I'll just pull out my phone and, I might absentmindedly just play a few races. And, I find that I get into it, and then some days I'm bored with it, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this for today. But I always come back the next day. So let's actually talk about why it's been hooking us. So let me explain why my position on this has differed. So I didn't like it because I thought it was a watered down piece of shit version of Mario Kart. But what I wasn't really processing back then was that it's not a traditional Mario Kart game. I was holding it to this high standard, or like the standard of, at the very least, the handheld Mario Karts of the past, like Mario Kart 7, or even going back to Mario Kart Super Circuit. And while I thought it's stupid to translate Mario Kart to the mobile experience when you can't really replicate the gameplay, I was just shallowly overlooking everything that it was doing different and the new avenues of fun that it was exploring. So the grand unifying thesis for Mario Kart Tour for me is that it's essentially a Tony Hawk game, only you're inside of a go-kart. And when you realize it's less about how well you drive, and it's about, and it's not about getting good times, except when you do, an occasional time trial in one of the like random one-off challenges, but it's about pulling off the largest combos of tricks, and stunts, while also finishing the race as high as you can. They should have called this Mario Kart like Stunt Rally or something, because Mario Kart Tour, I think, is a deceptive title.
Mario Kart Tricky.
Nintendo owns some iteration of Tricky, so where's Tricky? Nintendo, put Tricky. I would spend $40 on Tricky.
Well, okay, we'll get into that. but on the gameplay, yeah, I think a huge piece of this is that obviously they could just make a handheld Mario Kart and put it on a mobile device. There's nothing stopping them. They could replicate all of the buttons if they wanted to. But what they did is different, and what they've done is catered to the play style that is successful on mobile, which is bite-sized microcosms of gameplay. Mm-hmm. The races are shorter, and they've removed a lot of any kind of the frustration aspect. So like you're not falling off the track. So most of the time you can't even fall off the track. You're just kind of forced to stay on the track. And it's instead, like you said, you're doing these tricks and combos, and it's more just like a bite-sized little mini thing. And you jump into a race. It's pretty short, and it's less about the competition between you and other racers too, because it's not really even about getting first place, although you get more points for doing that. It's all about just getting the highest point tally you can get by any means.
Yes.
And the higher you place is just one of the ways you get those points. But it's less about like you sit down to race your friends and be the best at racing by being fastest. And it's more about hopping in to complete a couple daily challenges in these bite-sized little, mini races. And that obviously is suited to the mobile gaming market, because mobile games are very much about the bite-sized micro time investment. And I think they've done a good job of taking, because like you said, it doesn't feel like a lesser version of Mario Kart. It feels like its own kind of new, different thing with the Mario Kart skin on it. Yeah,
they should have called it Mario Kart Chunks. I take back my previous statement. They should have called it Mario Kart Chunks, because you just get little chunks of Mario Kart. But it's forget that statement. I'm wrong. But yeah, it's like, so the ultimate goal, right, of any race is to get enough points to get the grand stars, which you could then use to unlock like all the various stuff you unlock when you collect grand stars. And you can get up to 5 grand stars for every race, depending on how many points you get. And you can replay a race however many times you want to try to get those points to get all 5 grand stars. But yeah, you can get 5 grand stars without even finishing first in a race. I've done it a few times now. If your character, vehicle, and glider selection is high enough in points individually, the components combined to be high enough in points, and you perform enough maneuvers throughout a race, then all really finishing in a certain position does is provide another avenue for those points to your overall tally. So, yeah, it's definitely a different way of thinking about what you're doing. It's not even about the race so much. It's about just what goes on throughout the race. And, you know, you mentioned you can't really fall off the track in a lot of places. And I didn't like that aspect of it at first. I was like, well, what is this? What are these training wheels on me right now? And I now see it as less making the game idiot proof and more about providing an experience that allows you to focus on the combos rather than worrying about going off-road or out of bounds, which, you know, does happen from time to time, but it's spaced out where it can happen. And that also helps make the inevitable item clusterfuck when you get stuck in the middle of the pack a lot more palatable, because you're not necessarily screwed when you get, you know, blitzed by 4 shells in a row. Everything is a lot faster and more recoverable, even though you're just racing 2 laps instead of 3.
I mean, if someone hits you with an item and you fall off the course in a regular Mario Kart game, it's devastating. It's just like, man, this is setting me back so much just watching my character respawn.
Right.
The stupid cloud guy. You know, Cloudy Clive, who drops you on the track. And what I think is this just has removed some of the frustration aspects, so you can just get right into the gameplay and never have that annoying, lengthy respawn moment where you're waiting to get back into actually playing. Instead, it's just like, no, just go play. If you get hit by a shell, you spin out, you just keep racing. You don't have to fall off the track. It's just like, get right back to focusing on hitting that jump coming up, and then, drifting on this next corner. And then, and another one that I really like the lines of item boxes that you just like can't miss.
Yeah.
Like in Mario Kart, in a normal Mario Kart game, there might be like 4 item boxes in a row, and you could drive right in between them, or the racer in front of you could hit the box, and then you drive in their wake and don't get a box. And this game is like, nah, you're gonna get a box, and you're gonna get an item, because it's, who cares about anything if you don't get to use the, it's just letting you get into the gameplay quicker and like do the jumps, drift the corners, use the items, and removes any barriers that would be like, no, you don't get to do this because you fucked it up. And it just puts you in the gameplay, and you just do it. And since it's not really like online, it doesn't matter. It doesn't feel like all clusterfucky because you're not real players.
Yeah, and the whole item clusterfuck, and I know some people are really drawn to that. It's fun in a party setting where you're with your friends and everybody's laughing and having a good time at the chaos, but that really got tiresome for me in the era of Double Dash and Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii. And they started to scale it back and make it more reasonable in Mario Kart 7, and I feel like they got a good balance in Mario Kart 8 going on. But here, even when there is an item clusterfuck, it's not stressful because the stakes are so low for it. You're not trying to race four races in a row to get, a cup and to keep progressing throughout the game. You're not doing that. You're racing a 2-lap race that if you screw it up, you can just jump back in and try it again as much as you want over a 2-week period. So It's like, oh yeah, okay, so I really got screwed there and I finished 7th. Oh well, I'll try again and I'll get first this time. It's a relaxing take on Mario Kart, which is, I didn't get when I couldn't actually relax with the game, when my phone wouldn't hold up. Now that I can sit there and play this game for maybe 40 minutes at a time, it's kind of like those adult coloring books where people just swear, oh, it's so relaxing. All you do is shut off your brain and color. I'm like, what? But that's what this kind of is for me. It's a relaxing take on Mario Kart where my brain, my frenzied, anxiety-riddled brain can just kind of shut off. And I go into autopilot because I don't have to worry about going off the track. I don't have to worry about this or that. I'm just watching characters I love drive around colorful locales, and I'm getting stuff for it, and it's nice. It's Zen-like for me. I'm really kind of enjoying it. It's part of my nightly wind down routine.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's if you come at it from the idea of like you are sitting down to play a video game, then I don't think you might enjoy it so much. But I think it's more like pleasing the stupid part of your brain that just likes to check off boxes.
Yeah.
And you just kind of sit down and it's very, I play it like 10 minutes. I play for like 10 minutes a day. Like, that's nothing. I put it on because you're going to get the daily login bonus. I mean, obviously, all of this is psychology. We're brainwashed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Life is hell. I get a little joy out of some bullshit psychology brainwashing. Then that's fine. But I sit down, I get my 10 minutes of just like get my daily login bonus, play a couple races, play maybe a cup in a bonus little level and stuff, and then check what's in the daily shop, and then I bounce. That's it. I'm done for the day. This game is great. It's just simple joy if you come at it not caring about it at all.
Yeah.
That's important.
It is. Don't get stressed out about the game. And that's where I was going at it all wrong. I was stressed out when I first tried it back when Gibbon and I talked about it because I didn't have Donkey Kong. I pulled the pipe, the pipe that they let you pull when you first get the game, and I got, Bowser or somebody, and I was just like, ugh.
I got Toadette.
Yeah, Toadette.
And I was like, what? I'm supposed to race with Toadette in a game? Yeah, right.
Yeah. I was just stressing about it. I was like, when am I going to get Donkey Kong? When am I going to get to the Donkey Kong factory? That's a Simpsons reference. I know people like cartoons, Jeff, so I'm throwing in the cartoon references.
I'm only 15. Is this Jessica Simpsons?
Okay, if you're only 15, you don't know who Jessica Simpson is, Jeff. You just outed yourself.
I really struggled. I don't think there is any Simpsons for my generation of 15-year-olds.
O.J. Simpson? He's a famous football player.
Yeah, my brain went to O.J. My brain went to O.J., who, from the Naked Gun movie.
Right, which every 15-year-old loves.
He's famous for that and nothing else. Yeah, we 15-year-olds love, ironically, watching The Naked Gun.
You're big Leslie Nielsen fans. It just all the
right from Scary Movie 3. Yeah. Leslie Nielsen from Scary Movie 3. Yeah.
What's more, Jeff, is I'm getting sucked into. You said this is for the idiot part of your brain that likes ticking off boxes. Well, this is scratching another part of the stupid center of my brain that another Nintendo franchise always scratched. This is really enticing the part of me that loves building up my character and kart and glider combinations, because you can both level them up to level 7, and you can build the level of points each of these components can earn as a flat rate amount of points for every race. So when you start the race, when you go in with a certain character or a certain kart or a certain glider, those will carry with them a certain amount of base level points at the start of the race that you already have just for using those. And you can grow those if you can unlock a ticket that will allow you to keep boosting them as you race. But this is basically like me leveling up Pokemon. Okay, so they should have called this Mario Kart The Grasses of Pallet Town, because that's what I'm getting out of it, Jeff, is, I'm leveling up Donkey Kong. Ooh, I'm leveling up Dixie Kong. And I'm leveling up their carts, and I'm leveling up their gliders. And look how many points I'm getting when I'm using these combinations now. Isn't that fun? And honestly, I'm playing contrary to how one is supposed to play it, and honestly how they should play it, because I only ever use the Kongs and Kong-related carts and gliders. And I do have preferred combinations that I stick with, because I'm like, well, this is Donkey Kong's cart, and I only want Donkey Kong using this cart because it's his. It's his. I've given Donkey Kong this cart, and none of you other racers are allowed to touch it. So I'm a weirdo. I'm a freak of nature. Yeah. This isn't how you're supposed to play Mario Kart Tour.
I want to reiterate, this is a bad way to play this game.
It's a terrible way.
And like I said, if you want to enjoy this game, it's very important that you don't care about it at all.
Yes.
Because at its core, it basically sucks. But that doesn't contradict what I said earlier, which is that I have a lot of fun with it.
Right.
But at its core, it is telling you at every single juncture, these are the carts, gliders, and characters that will get you the best items and the best score and combos on this particular track. It's the antithesis of what we talked about on the most recent Kongversation before this, the Crash Bandicoot racing game, which is a game whose design ethos is that you can play as any character on any cart with any design you want, and you can make them play with the engine style you want. So basically, it's purely cosmetic. You can be any character on any cart you want, and you can get the gameplay, the control style you want, instead of forcing you to be like, well, I love Rillaroo in the Crash Bandicoot game, but he's not a good character because he's heavy. I can't use him. Like, no, this is the opposite of that here on Mario Kart Tour, where they have amped that up to the nth degree with everything has the most extreme example of this is the one you should use on this stage with this combination if you want to get the most points. And it doesn't bother me because I just don't care. But it also it's a way to trick you to give them dollars.
Yeah.
They want you to give them American dollars or foreign dollars, and I don't do it.
Yeah. All other denominations of currency are just called foreign dollars. That's
Yeah.
Jeff Onan, economist.
Those are the two currencies.
Yeah. No, and Jeff, I am such a zealot. I am such a Donkey Kong universe zealot that I will not allow myself to play as any other character but the Kongs. Once I unlock them, that is, because for a while there I had to play as one of the Koopalines. I think it was Larry, and then I picked Ludwig von Koopa.
Ugh.
Yeah, I had to play as them for like a solid week, and it was the worst. It was just the worst, Jeff. It was the worst. And then I finally, I'll get into that, but needless to say, I have all the Kongs now. And so this is not how you're supposed to play the game, but my theory is, okay, I don't mind missing out on some of these badges because whatever. I'm only in this for the Donkey Kong content. I'm only in it for unlocking Donkey Kong content. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play with my preferred combinations, my preferred character cart glider combinations. And if I keep leveling them up and I get them high enough, then ultimately it won't matter. It's my theory about Pokemon, if I just have a level 100 Blastoise, what the fuck does it matter? I can just do whatever I want. So, that's what I'm trying to do with this game. And again, like, I don't care. Ooh, I can only get 4 grand stars on this track and I can't get that 5th grand star. Oh well, I don't really care. So it's a different way than, how I normally approach a game, which is very completionist. I'm not really a completionist with this game. I'm a Donkey Kong zealot. So I'm all about Donkey Kong content and nothing else. So I just wanted to read off my preferred character combinations that I have so far for the 4, we'll call them the 4 rare Kongs in the game. So for Donkey Kong, his cart is the DK Jumbo, the classic DK Jumbo. And I'm using the Barrel Hanafuda glider. So the Nintendo Hanafuda cards, they're in this game as gliders. And, the way you unlock some of this stuff is they come back around after a certain amount of time in these time limited pipes that you pull, right? So the Hanafuda card,
it's a slot machine.
So it's a slot machine. It's all randomized, but you have to pay the rubies, which are kind of like the in-game currency that can equate with real-life foreign dollars or American dollars, where you have the rubies, and 5 rubies get you 1 pull in the pipe, but then you can also use 45 rubies to get 10 pulls in the pipe, and that's where your odds increase.
Free pull.
Yeah. The other week, they brought back the Hanafuda gliders, which I'd seen in the glider, because you can see everything that's been in the game and everything that might come back around again. And so I saw these Hanafuda gliders when I got Mario Kart Tour back, and I saw one of them had a barrel cannon Hanafuda card. And I was like, oh, I want that so bad. I hope those come back. And they brought back the pipe for like a week. The other week. I think it was towards the end of the Bowser versus Donkey Kong team rally, which we'll be talking about because I have some thoughts on that sham. But I was like, there's I think something like 8 of the Hanafuda gliders, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get the barrel cannon one, the only one I actually want. But whatever, I'm just gonna do a pull and see what happens. And then on the very first pull, what pops out? But I've never had that luck in this game. And I was like, so that's the one Donkey Kong's using. The one, like, very explicit Donkey Kong glider in the game. So I'm very happy I've got that. For Diddy Kong, I've got the Barrel Train, Diddy's classic cart from Double Dash. And I've got the Great Sail glider because Diddy, he became a video game hero in a game about pirates. And so the Great Sail glider looks like the sails on a galleon. And so I thought that was just perfect for Diddy. So that's what I paired Diddy with. Doesn't really go with the Barrel Train, but whatever. I don't care. Dixie Kong, I've given her the Banana Master cart because it complements her long blonde ponytail. And she has the Starry Great Sail glider because it's like Diddy's, but it's pink. So there's that. Funky Kong, who I just started leveling up last night. I just started actually playing as Funky for the first time last night. I've given him the Rambi Runner cart, which is a variant of the Rambi Rider. And I've given him this. I
don't have either of the Rambi cards.
Yeah, I lucked out with I got the Rambi Runner during the Bowser versus DK tour. But I've also given Funky the Surfmaster glider, which is the glider that looks like a surfboard. And so that's really cool. I was using the Tropical glider for Donkey Kong, which is the glider that's a palm tree with bananas. But once I got the Barrel Hanafuda, I quickly swapped that out. So now I'm saving that one for when I start leveling up Donkey Kong Jr. because he's all about climbing up those trees with the fruit. So I thought that would suit him. But I don't want to play as Donkey Kong Jr. until I get a variant of the DK Jumbo because there are a few variants of the DK Jumbo in the game somewhere. that I want to give DK Jr. because I believe DK Jr. is a younger version of the modern Donkey Kong. And I'm thinking if they ever add Cranky, I will give him the Rambi carts and I'll give Funky something else, maybe the mine carts that are in the game. Anyway, so that's a delve into my troubled brain, Jeff. So
yeah, and I will say you mentioned Pokemon and just the kind of. I know that the way you play Pokemon is the incorrect way, but I get the analogy of just the mindless leveling up, which, like as we mentioned, is kind of the checkbox stupid part of the brain of just watching numbers go up. But you know what? That's not new to Mario Kart or to like the RPG grind. It does check off that same kind of box as the RPG grind of just kind of trying to level up your hero or your party in an RPG. Except it's just arbitrarily increasing the value of your cart and glider and characters in Mario Kart. It's good. I don't care about this stuff at all. I play as whatever. I don't make a meaningful combination. I play as whatever the cart and stuff that is like recommended as the best value. And but if there is a relative tie, because they'll put things into 3 tiers. You hop into a track and you say, I'm going to race that track. And then they say, all right, pick a racer. Here are all your top tier racers for this track. And here's your medium tier racers for this track. And here's your bottom tier. And there's like numbers. And you're like, oh, well, Funky Kong is worth 400 points. But Dry Bowser is worth 490 points. And when it's like that, I'm going to say, hey, even though Funky Kong is slightly less points, he's still one of the top tier choices. And I'm going to go with Funky Kong because I like that guy. And so I do that. I do that. And it also, like we said, that just choosing to use him levels him up and increases his points a little bit each time. So that's fun to do. But I didn't unlock Dixie Kong yet. I have Donkey Kong, and I have Diddy Kong, and I have Funky Kong. And I don't have Dixie Kong, and I don't have Donkey Kong Jr. because the game is a slot machine, and you don't always win those, and I refuse to give them any of my American dollars.
That's because you're a rational consumer, Jeff, whereas we talked about this while we were playing Sea of Thieves, because you mentioned there's a term for games like this where there are consumers, call them customers, that basically keep the whole enterprise afloat because this 1% of people will buy everything. And therefore they make the whole endeavor worth it because they're essentially pumping in enough money where it's like they're buying an entire game or more every time there's an update to the shop. And this term is called a whale, I believe. Yeah. So
you're a whale for Sea of Thieves.
I'm a whale for Sea of Thieves. I am not a whale for Mario Kart Tour unless it's a DKU thing, and then my brain plays tricks on me and I lose that rational consumer filter in my brain.
I'm not sure what the term is for someone like me. I guess it's like a krill. Or something.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to just take my free ride where the customers like you are subsidizing the experience.
Now,
for customers like me.
Now, look, I've only... So here's what I do. I do spend a little bit of money in this game because I buy the gold pass, and the gold challenges, because I feel like it's a worthwhile investment. It's not a lot of money, just a few dollars here or there. And you do get some nice items out of the deal. And it's like, it unlocks further challenges. And if you do all these challenges, then you get, and they're pretty easy challenges too. So it's not like you're really like playing a game of Risk here. Well, what if I don't do these challenges? You're going to do them. But then you unlock some nice, high-end carts and stuff. And I was like, it's worth it. I'm playing this game a lot. I don't mind supporting it financially here or there because it's a free download game. I'm not a thief, Jeff. I'm not a common criminal who just uses services free of charge. No, I want to support the things I'm enjoying. So, I did.
Yeah, you know what I'll say. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I did spend $40 once, but that was a rarity. That was a one-time thing. Unless more DKQ characters get in there and they offer them in this package. We'll get into that.
Let's name the 5 characters we want them to put in there each. No. But I was going to say, you know what? Listen, just speaking personally, I like to gamble. I gamble sometimes, and I go to casinos. And I think that people have this, innate sense that it's an immoral thing. It's like the whole enterprise is evil and bad, and it is, because it's preying on people's worst instincts. But if you don't have those instincts, if you're in control, it's not so bad a thing, because if you buy a scratch off ticket at the gas station and you don't win any money, people will say, "Man, that idiot, he wasted his money." And I don't agree with that, because if you can spend $2 or $5 to give your brain a little shoot of endorphins and escape from the horrors of the world that we live in, which is the worst world to live on, it's no different than anybody buying anything that makes them happy. It's a chemical response in your brain.
I agree.
As long as you're responsible.
So if you're,
I went to the casino. I went to the casino with my mom once. And my attitude at the casino is, I go in and I say, well, I have a $100 American dollar in my pocket, and I will spend that money until it's gone. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll make money. And if I'm not lucky and I lose all the money, then that was just the cost of a few hours of entertainment. Because you can't, going someplace and having fun costs money. But then I don't go to the ATM machine and pull out another $100 and another $100 and another $100.
Yeah.
But I sat down at, my mom likes to do the little slot machines, the cheap ones. And I sat down and I was like, well, let's say hi to her. And she says, and this is a direct quote, "This is my favorite machine. The pictures on the screen make me happy." And I mean, maybe that's like a fucked up nightmare scenario, or maybe it's fine because we're in control. So what I'll say is this: I think everyone should check out that Mario Kart Tour if it sounds like a little bite-sized bit of fun for you. But if you have any inclination whatsoever to lose control in a gambling environment, then do not do it. Or at the bare minimum, don't ever put your credit card into the game.
Yeah. If
that's good advice.
If you are easily tempted, if you are compulsive in any way, especially when it comes to hoarding digital representations of video game characters, like your favorite video game character, Luigi with the big sausage, who is in this game.
I love Sausage Luigi.
Yeah. If you you're going to bankrupt yourself trying to get Luigi with the big sausage, then don't. Don't ever install this game, because it will lead to ruin. But if you can handle it, and if you're like me and you're only compulsive towards certain characters, maybe it's not so bad. So also we should mention there are badges, and the badges are the only things that seem to be really time limited. Like there are very time limited badges that will just go away forever. But I'm not too worried about those, because I'm only in it again for Donkey Kong content. This is the equivalent of titles in Sea of Thieves, which I know you've been able to kind of mentally detach yourself from. Well, I don't really care about that title. whatever. Since I'm only working towards Donkey Kong related stuff, and I already missed out on a bunch in the first like year and a half of the game. Okay, sure, whatever. But Jeff, I used the Burning DK badge, the logo for Donkey Kong's energy drink, and I know you use the DK barrel flanked by other barrels, cause we're friends, and I see your badge.
Yeah.
But let me explain my philosophy towards the game's story, my fanon for how this game makes any sense in the context of the DKU or the Mario universe. So it's Mario Kart Tour, and you've got like an assortment of drivers. So the way I view it is this is a iteration of Mario Kart where the character of you, your self-insert avatar that can be represented by a Mii or an Xbox avatar, your own character who in the chronology of the DKU first appeared in It's Mr. Pants. You are basically, you own a Mario Kart team. And so you can build your drivers and compete against other teams. And so and then your badge is your sponsor. So Burning DK is my sponsor for my team. That's my fanon, Jeff.
I love that. I never thought about it before because I don't think about this game. But that's really kind of a satisfying way to think about it, that you're building out a team, and now you're making me want something that explicitly does that in a Mario Kart, in a real Mario Kart game with like a career mode. Like they really could flesh out that concept.
The thing about this game, about this game is when I go back and I play Mario Kart 8 or any other Mario Kart game, I get frustrated now because I'm expecting Mario Kart Tour, and this game does do things in a certain way that I actually appreciate, and I would like to see some of the ideas, let alone the characters of this game, integrated into like the main prestigious franchise. Like if there is a Mario Kart 9, probably won't be until after the Switch, but when we get another Mario Kart game, they better be, grabbing some ideas from this one, because I do think it does some things that could really revolutionize Mario Kart. And Mario Kart is a franchise that doesn't really want to revolutionize itself because it does fine just maintaining the status quo. But, every Mario Kart game shifts the formula just a little bit. And Mario Kart 8, did so with graphics. It actually made Mario Kart look pretty instead of a pastel nightmare. So, it'd be interesting to see what they pull. But, Jeff, I want to get your opinion on this because, the game sort of hides the fact that you're racing against CPU players, unless, you're in multiplayer. Because what it does, and this is just a weird concept to me, it uses real life Nintendo IDs. Like it basically steals their identity and puts it on a CPU player. So the names are real, but you're not actually racing against these people. And so because of that, you get some weird names that you're racing against on occasion. Have you raced against any CPU characters with these Nintendo IDs, and you're like, well, that's a funny name. I can't believe that got through Nintendo's censors. Because to date, I've met Satan in the game. I've met Booty Eater. And I've, just last night, I raced against Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Ah, Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Pee Pee Poo Poo.
They're famous in the Nintendo Online. No, I have seen Jeff Gordon Ramsay and Resident Beagle 4. I was like, that's pretty good. It's like Resident Evil, but it's Resident Beagle. No, but this shit actually tricked me because, and I felt like a foolish fool. I felt like I had been made into a fool because I got onto this game and I didn't know anything about this game before I downloaded it, other than that it was evil.
Yes.
You know, so I get in there and I start playing it, and I really thought that these were real people for like a good chunk of time. Like probably an embarrassingly long amount of time. I was like, man, I barely got beat by Jeff Gordon Ramsay that time. Or like, you know, and then like, yeah, suck it. And then, you know, I'm taking people's names down so I can, you know, send them death threats, all the internet stuff. And then I learned later they're CPUs.
Yeah.
They're not real. And I learned it only because eventually you kind of can tell. You can kind of tell. Because one, how would everyone be like nobody ever drops out of the race with a bad connection. Mm-hmm. I never drop out of the race with a bad connection. You know, it's like the race starts exactly when you want it to. Like, really, when I want the race to start, all of a sudden there's 7 other people that are ready to go? I don't think so. And then also, there's something just a little bit uncanny about, like, you can tell that the way they drive, that's not a human.
Right.
It's very subtle. But eventually my brain picked it up, and I was like, I've been made a fool.
Yeah, I will say, though, that it's a weird logic that they do this, but it still kind of works. I never feel like I'm alone when I'm playing the game, even though I'm alone. Because they do pull names from around the world too, so you'll see names in different languages, and I really like that aspect of it because it does make me feel like I'm part of this global community, even if I'm not actually playing the multiplayer, and these names and identities have just been stolen from people. And I'm wondering, is Slush out there? Has my identity been stolen? And if so, is Nintendo using it on Donkey Kong characters? Because I will not take that slander if they're putting it on Sausage Luigi.
Yeah, I wonder too, what are people thinking about my username of Monin, Bonin, Onan around the world? But when I see like a name on there that's in, you know, a foreign language, it is exciting thinking of how people are all around the world, and I'm like, I wonder how many foreign dollars this person has given to the evil gambling casino that is Mario Kart Tour. But it's cool. I don't actually hate the fact that they're not real. I'm glad they're not real because I think it would suck. I think the game would not function well.
It wouldn't.
In fact, the game does have a multiplayer that is real, and it doesn't work. You know, like probably 80% of matches that I try to join there get disconnected. Yeah. So that's dumb. But you know, it's cool. It's cool. It just, I felt bad that I was stupid enough to be tricked. But now that I know, I don't mind it. I think it's good.
What you're doing is you're providing a service for those people who will run out and play Mario Kart Tour now because we're talking it up. This way, they won't be tricked. They won't feel like a fool. You took that hit, Jeff. So others... So let me rephrase that. You stumbled so others could walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... You mentioned ideas from this game that could go into other games of Mario Kart, and I don't think it's really like don't have to dwell on it. But I did want to say the one thing that I think is super clever and great that I want them to do in a future Mario Kart is that they've got the T version and the R version of tracks. It's just like, hey, we made a track, but why does that have to be the end of that track? Let's make an updated version of that track that changes the layout a bit with some more tricks and and like catwalks you can drive on to change the layout. And then there's the R version, which is the reverse. So they basically said, hey, we already designed a track. Now here's a version of that track where you go the other direction around, which is going to completely change up how some of the like set pieces and trap moments and stuff work in it. Because they have to get the whole thing to work in reverse. I don't know. This is some stuff I think is cool.
It really is amazing how they're able to do so much with relatively so little. Like there aren't as many tracks in the game as you would perceive there to be, but they make the most out of the tracks they do have in there. And like in a certain tour, they will really emphasize certain tracks, especially if it's themed. Like they had the Sydney tour, where you can race in Australia through like the Sydney Opera House, and they had that track like 4 or 5 times throughout, but you had all the different versions of it, and each one felt a little different, and so I appreciate how economical the game is with what it has to use. And it's
one of my biggest joys is when there's a new tour and you have to download a little update, and then you get in, it's a brand new tour, you're starting kind of from scratch on all of the like progression of unlocking stars and stuff like that, and you start the new tour and it's a whole new selection of tracks that are like there. And another thing, I never played Mario Kart DS or Mario Kart 7, and I think a large percentage of the tracks that are in this game are from those 2 games, or they're in some way a reimagining or a revamping of tracks that were in those 2 games. Because every time there's a new tour, there's always at least a couple tracks in there that I have never played on in a Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. It's just a little fun to get a little taste of something different every 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, too. That's when the big updates come. And they refresh a tour every week. The first week into a tour, then they have new challenges and new pipes and everything. So it definitely does a good job of keeping
more slot machines. Don't forget about the tour. There's a new slot machine. Come back to the tour. Don't forget to log in every day. Come back to the tour. We got another slot machine. Come back.
It does do a good job of keeping you engaged. And even if it's just, I'm just going to spend 10 minutes with the game, it's a productive, fulfilling 10 minutes. Even, if you're just shutting off your brain and you're just getting in there, I never feel like I'm bored or irritated,
Yeah, well, then they also have the tour tokens. They have on the racetrack you drive, and there's like regular coins, and then you can use the coins in the coin shop. But then they've got like tokens, like green coins. Mm-hmm. And I know it's just like the stupidest little thing, but like normally if I drive around the track and every coin was just a coin, and there's such a small number of coins versus, compared to how much stuff costs in the coin shop, my brain would think, I don't care about coins. They give me no joy to collect the coins. They're too insignificant. But because like every 5th coin is a green coin, I'm like, I gotta get that coin.
Yeah.
I feel good driving around the track, hitting a green coin, and then being able to buy stuff specifically from the green coin shop. It feels good.
No, like you said, there's something about this game that's quite pleasing to the lizard part of your brain that just likes pretty pictures.
It's like the slot machine that my mom likes. The pictures on the screen make me happy.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, this game is a lesser version of Mario Kart, but it scratches my itch. It scratches itches I didn't know I had in that brain of mine. And it feels good. And I'm going to let it feel good because the world is a terrible place. You're absolutely right. Let's talk a little bit about chasing characters and Donkey Kong representation, because for me, they go hand in hand. So when I re-downloaded the game and I started over properly from my actual Nintendo account, it took me a week or 2 to get Donkey Kong. And I want to stress this, though. Even though it took me a little bit of time, if you're interested in trying out Mario Kart Tour and you are a Donkey Kong fanatic, a zealot, it's not hard to get either Donkey or Diddy. You'll probably have to play as a Koopaling or a baby character or some asshole like Mario for a little bit of time. Unless you get Donkey or Diddy on your first pull, but that's probably not going to happen. But then they will often appear, Donkey or Diddy, in the daily selects in the shop. And the daily selects are randomized for every player, so it's not universal. Somebody's daily selects will be different from the next person's. But it took me a little over a week, and I checked every day, and then suddenly there was Donkey Kong for 3,000 coins, in-game coins, and then Diddy was in there a week or two later. So I got them pretty quickly.
Yeah, same. I got them both very quickly. And DK and Diddy, yeah, if you just check the shop, they show up in the shop. So just play the game every day so that you have enough coins when they do show up in the shop, and you should be good. And they do a thing. They do a thing a couple times a tour where when you log in, like, oh, go back and re-race on these 3 tracks to get 300 bonus coins each.
Yeah.
Those are a good way to rack up the coins, so then if Diddy Kong shows up in the shop, you can buy them with your coins.
Yeah, I'm always hovering around 40,000 coins, so...
Holy shit, Hyle.
Well, I mean, I don't really buy I've got most of the stuff from the daily shop now that really appears in the rotation. So, I'm really only going for DKU stuff at the moment, so there's really no need to spend a lot of coins. But yeah, there's a Twitter account of some notoriety where it's based on the joke that at one point Diddy was offered in this $40 bundle, $39.99 American dollars, where you could buy Diddy and a bunch of rubies. You're actually buying the rubies because the way the laws are written, you can't sell these characters, but you can sell rubies, the in-game currency. And Diddy is just this delightful bonus you got. I don't know how it works, but so people are like, is this as expensive as Diddy Kong? And that's the joke of the Twitter account. Diddy was offered in the same deal that I got Dixie through, but now Diddy is just, he's just in the normal rotation of characters. You'll find him soon enough. But Dixie and Funky and Donkey Kong Jr., if that's your thing, they're all harder to come by. Much harder, because they're high-end characters. This is just a way the game parses out, the really good characters versus the less good characters, the more common characters. And then there's the absolute dog shit characters, which they're like the Koopalings and the baby characters. The game knows that these characters are just terrible, the Koopalings and the baby characters. So they're portrayed with gray backgrounds. The super characters like Donkey and Diddy and Mario and some of the rest, they have golden backgrounds. And then the high-end characters have pinkish purple backgrounds. And Dixie and Funky and Donkey Kong Jr., they're all high-end characters. And some high-end characters or vehicles or gliders do appear in the daily selects or the token shops or the tier shops, which is another thing, depending on your ranked tier, which can go up or down depending on how you do in the ranked cups every week. But there's those 3 shops. So high-end stuff does appear in there, but it's few and far between. So you can either get the high-end stuff through a pipe pull, or you can pony up real money if they become available in one of the special offers. I unlocked Funky personally during the Bowser vs. Donkey Kong Team Rally because Funky was available as a spotlight character along with Dry Bowser in one of the pipes. So that meant we had a greater than normal chance of pulling Funky Kong if we pulled a pipe, especially if we spend 45 rubies and got 10 pulls for reduced rate. So that's how I got Funky Kong. Got him twice over, actually, so I leveled him up to level 2 right away. And you got Funky way back when, right?
Yeah, I think that I basically jumped in to join the game for 2 reasons. One, I also got a new phone. And my new phone is just, such a champ. This badass is like, I have a battery for days. I don't charge it. I charge this thing like once a week, sometimes twice. So yeah, I got on the Mario Kart for that reason, but also because they did a banana tour.
Oh, and yeah.
I think that might have been what it was called. And it had Funky, Dixie, and DK Jr., I think.
Oh, it was
highlighted.
It was the pipe. They did that special pipe with there are 50 items in the pipe and
the banana
pipe, yes.
Yeah.
And it was the characters that were really primarily featured in it were Dixie, Funky, Donkey Kong Jr., and Mario in a Hawaiian shirt. So,
Right, which every time I think of that, I just think of oh my god, it's a bit on Community where they have who is it that's on there? Mitch Horowitz or who's the guy who directs he directed Arrested Development.
oh,
Come on, Hyle, you got to know.
Hurwitz, Mitch Hurwitz.
Showrunner. Come on. Mitch Horowitz played a character in the final season of Community that was called like the Kugler.
Uh-huh.
And it's just Mitch Horowitz in a Hawaiian shirt. And every time I see Mario in the Hawaiian shirt with his sunglasses on, I think of the Coog, man. It's the Kugler.
Yeah, so
That's some shit. Anyway. Yeah, so I got Funky Kong from that. That's the long story short.
yeah, out of that pipe, let me tell you, I got Mario in the Hawaiian shirt, and I wasn't happy about that. I wasn't happy about that, Jeff. So I didn't get Funky until several weeks later with the Bowser versus Donkey Kong Team Rally. Dixie, on the other hand, which you have not gotten Dixie yet, Dixie
No.
was also available at the same time then as a special offer. I think a week into the tour, there Dixie Kong was as a special offer for $39.99. And yes, Jeff, I know. Everybody I know who I told, I shared this on social media. So, I heard it a lot when I did it, but I don't have any regrets because this way, I'm not worrying about Dixie. I'm not chasing after Dixie. I'm not obsessively trying to scrounge up rubies to pull pipes. I can save my rubies now. Ultimately, this was a good long-term investment for me, Hyle Russell, to just buy Dixie for $40. And also, that sends Nintendo a message that says, Nintendo, hey, guess what? I like this Dixie Kong character. I'm willing to put $40 of my American dollars for Dixie Kong and send them to you in this digital envelope. There you go. Made me think of on that next time you make a video game and say, hey, somebody out there is willing to spend $40 on Dixie Kong. We should use that.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that because, I've rewired the way I'm interacting with the game because I've decided I've kind of min-maxed the way that I earn the rubies and what I spend the rubies. So now I'm just saving them up. My first week in the game, it's the second I had 5 rubies, I was pulling the pipe, and then I didn't realize I'm basically missing out on the most cost efficient way, which is doing 10 pulls of the pipe in a bundle.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I don't actually care about this pipe.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot on a pipe that didn't matter. So now I'm just saving them up. I'm saving up rubies every tour until they do a pipe that is for sure Donkey Kong relevant, so that I can just maximize my odds. I will have enough rubies at that time to make sure I didn't just miss out on some chances to spin the slot machine.
And I think it takes several weeks or even months into the game for you to come to that realization. Especially once you get a nice selection of characters and carts and gliders anyway. And so right after the Bowser versus Donkey Kong tour, they did the Builder tour, which is kind of like the Mario Maker themed variants for Mario and Luigi and various things. I think they added Builder Toad or something. I don't know. But I was like, wow, I don't care about these variants. I don't care about these characters. I'm not going to pull this pipe. I'm going to save my rubies. And that was a first for me. Granted, I just came out of that tour with all of the Kongs and a lot of the Kong adjacent carts and stuff. So I was set. And so I was like, when various things like DK Jumbo variants come back around, I want to chase those with my rubies. I don't care about Builder Mario. Now we have the Wedding tour, and it's I don't care about Mario and Peach's wedding carriage as a cart or whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. Just, I'm fine letting it go. So, but it takes a while to get there. I think you have to be satisfied with what you got and not just obsessively chase after what's in the pipe that week.
Yeah, you gotta realize what is the right slot machine.
Yeah.
And what is the wrong slot machine.
What has the pictures that make you happy?
Exactly. That's it, Hyle. We're really, I think, having a breakthrough with this. But yeah, so I think basically it's a fun game if you can treat it stupid.
Yeah.
If you can just turn your brain off and have fun with it.
I'm not saying like this is a brilliant game. I'm not saying it's even like in my top 50 of the DKU. But I'll say this, Jeff. I'm enjoying it, and I'm playing it every day. The only DKU game I play more than this is Sea of Thieves, as far as like the hours I put in every week. But this is like becoming a part of my life where I just go into Mario Kart Tour, see what's shaking.
It also it doesn't feel that unlikely or out of the realm of possibility that like Cranky Kong or King K. Rool could show up in this game at some point.
Right. Well, let's talk about
which is fun.
Dixie and Funky, because I couldn't really speak from a personal perspective when we did the episode about them joining the game. Now that I've unlocked them and I've seen the portrayal, they're wonderful. Now Funky, he's obviously just from Mario Kart Wii, so same, mannerisms and personality, very bombastic, funky driving a vehicle. We've seen it. But Dixie in Mario Kart is surreal to actually get to control her. And even if you don't have her unlocked, you will see her. You will race against her several times. So you'll already get a whiff of Dixie before you get her. But the way she occasionally breaks out her helicopter spin, her hair helicopter spin, when she's doing a jump in the cart, wasn't expecting that. It's a treat. I think they really get Dixie right. And Dixie's honestly the character I play as the most now that I've got her. Maybe it's because I spent $40 on her and I want to get my money's worth, but there is something.
Or it's the only Mario Kart that you can do that.
It's the only, and like I said, like even Diddy isn't in Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So to be able to play as Dixie Kong in any iteration of Mario Kart, I think I was upset when Dixie and Funky were added to this because I was like, you're wasting Dixie Kong's Mario Kart debut on this lesser Mario Kart. But now that I've actually got her and I'm actually figuring out the way to enjoy this game, I'm happy it happened here. It feels nice to be able to sit down on my couch, unwind after a hard day of Donkey Kong journalism, and get to see Dixie Kong in like Chaco Mountain or various like locales that I'm very familiar with. It's really surreal when you're racing on Royal Raceway from, Mario Kart 64. And I remember racing in Royal Raceway on the N64 with Donkey Kong and going onto the castle grounds, which you can't do in this game or Mario Kart 8, but whatever. And just thinking how weird it was that I'm going around this already famous Super Mario 64 location, but with Donkey Kong. And so it's weird to at least drive by the castle as Dixie, because who would have ever thought I would have had that experience? But yeah, very, very happy with the way they're portrayed. So we're gonna take some calls, but before we get there, I do want to address something that's recently happened in Mario Kart Tour that I am not happy with, Jeff. And this has been a mostly glowing, happy episode. But the Bowser versus Donkey Kong team rally was rigged bullshit that I will never believe the results of. And maybe this makes me sound like I don't know, some crazed ex-president, but I'm sorry, I just can't accept these results, Jeff.
I think that if you count all the legal votes, we had this thing won by a landslide. And then suddenly there's votes, and they're counting votes, and they're coming in. Where are they coming from? We don't know. They just have all these votes, and it was over, and they said it was over, but then they said there's more votes, and, and it's a bad deal.
So let me explain what a team rally is, Jeff. Every so often, Mario Kart Tour will change up its formula. Instead of just a straight tour, they will pit two characters against each other in a team rally. So for 2 weeks, you're representing one of these team captains. And they get a whole, like, the roster is halved. So these characters go with this character, the other characters go with the other character. And they try to do it in a way that makes sense. And I think it's coming from the perspective of this is who this character would pick to be on their team. So they did Peach versus Daisy. When I first was playing the game, that was, I think, the second week they were doing Peach versus Daisy. Then inspired by Godzilla versus Kong, on HBO Max, they did Bowser versus Donkey Kong. And so Bowser, he got all of the Koopa-oriented characters and Wario and Waluigi, and curiously Peach. And I guess that's because Bowser would pick Peach because he's got the hots for her. And then Donkey Kong got all the Kongs, and he got all of the heroic characters sans Peach. So he got Mario, Luigi on down. And those were the two teams. And I was thinking ahead of time, oh wow, Donkey Kong has Mario and Luigi on his team. Surely more people will pick Team DK, and Team DK will win in a landslide. And that's not what happened, Jeff. Team Bowser won by like 2/3. It was a complete demolishing of Team Donkey Kong. And I have a couple theories about why this is the case. Theory 1. It's because Bowser was listed first, and when people play this game, they shut off their brain. And so, whereas I come up with this elaborate fanon for how the story works in the greater context of the universes of Donkey Kong and Mario, other people are just playing a mobile game. And so they're like, oh, I gotta pick a character. Fine, I'll just hit the first character that's listed. And so they vote for Bowser. Like people voted for Pat Buchanan in Florida, when clearly they were trying to vote for Gore. Hanging Chads all over again, Jeff. And so people picked Bowser. And so Bowser won because he was listed first. Because people don't think when they play Mario Kart Tour, nor should they, except in this very specific case. So that's my first theory, because the same thing also happened when Peach destroyed Daisy. Okay. My second theory is that the characters selected for Team Bowser, although they made sense, so every character gets a very specific item, right? So of course the Kongs all have banana-based items. Donkey Kong has the giant banana. Diddy and Funky have banana barrel cannons that shoot out bananas on the track, which is very cumbersome, but once you get the hang of it, you can avoid your own bananas. And Dixie has a triple banana shield that circles her cart. A lot of the Koopa characters and villainous characters have gold variants that their special skill is shooting out coins from their cart that they can then collect. Anybody can collect them, but the cart that shoots them out will be in the closer proximity. And among these coins are the tokens that the teams were supposed to collect that would signify who was in the lead. So it would shoot out gold coins, but it would also shoot out some tokens. So anyone using these gold characters would be generating the Bowser tokens needed for Team Bowser to take the lead. And because there were more gold characters on Team Bowser, that put them at an inherently unfair advantage. So we had the deck stacked against us. And I tried to rally. I tried to get Donkey Kong fans on board and say, hey, you got to download Mario Kart Tour to support Donkey Kong. But this is a worldwide game, and DK Vine's reach is only so far. And also, it's a Mario game, so I'm sure that Bowser is more popular in the game than Donkey Kong is. If this was Donkey Kong Tour, then, sure, we would have a shot. But alas, it was what it was. But once it was clear, like the first day in, there was like, oh, Donkey Kong's not going to win this. Okay. So now I've got to put up with this over the next 2 weeks of seeing how badly Donkey Kong is losing. Also, this happened right after Bowser's Fury, so people were just thirsty for Bowser, probably. There's a lot of reasons. But as a Donkey Kong zealot, it was demoralizing.
All of the, a bunch of the villain characters have a gold version. Like Dry Bowser, King Bob-omb, King Boo. But the only gold character that I actually have unlocked, or had unlocked at that time, is Pink Gold Peach. And she might be the only good guy character that has a gold version. Of course, there's Metal Mario, but Metal Mario is not gold, whereas Pink Gold Peach is gold, just pink gold. And, but Pink Gold Peach, along with Peach, was also on Bowser's team. So I couldn't use her in the rally because I had to use characters that were going to support Team Donkey Kong.
At the end of the tour, everybody was on Team Donkey Kong. We got a silver medal. We got a participation trophy, Jeff. We got a silver medal that, and I've thought about switching from Burning DK to the silver medal because you know what? I will wear it with pride because I would rather go down with the ship. If that ship is christened after the Donkey Kong, I would be happy to drown because
it's a silver back medal.
Yeah. So yeah, we lost badly. It was a worldwide humiliation, but it's one that I'm going to be proud of because, and I was told on Twitter, hey, you should support Bowser because he's going to win. And I was like, yeah, but I'm Hyle from off of DK Vine. So why would I? I'm the one who beat Double Dash using just Donkey and Diddy Kong, even though it almost destroyed me. So why would I play as Bowser just because he was going to win? That's not who I am. Anyway, bullshit. But I do thank everybody who came out to support Team Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes elections are gerrymandered, and the only thing you can do about that is nothing, because life is hell.
Got some calls to take, and then we'll wrap this up. Final thoughts for now on Mario Kart Tour until they add Cranky or K. Rool, or Donkey Kong with sausage. That's still a possibility. And then I'll let you go to your brother's wedding so you can come back and do E3 stuff with me.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it happens, but you never know until it's over, right?
Hey, Hyle and Jeff, it's your favorite thing. It's DJ Cat here calling about Mario Kart Tour today. And what have I got to say? So, when the game first came out, or when I first read about it, I thought it sounded pretty ordinary. And, yeah, I wasn't that keen on even trying it, so I didn't even look at it. Until a few months ago, or not even that, just a month ago, when Hyle posted about the Bowser vs. DK tour, where I felt it was my responsibility to step up to the plate and represent DK, just in the chance of, supporting DK and hoping he wins. And, yeah, it turns out I don't dislike Mario Kart Tour all that much. That was the thing that made me try the game, and it's actually not that bad. They've done a really good job with the look and the music and all the usual things in Mario Kart. Yeah, it's cool to see tracks from the 64 era recreated. I suppose I haven't played a new Mario Kart since Mario Kart Wii, so I guess it feels new to me, but yeah, it's not too bad. Anyone listening should hop onto the DK Vine forums and check out the thread on Mario Kart Tour, and if you want to trade friend codes and stuff, there's quite a few that have added our name to the list so far. Yeah, Mario Kart Tour, probably the best Mario Kart since Mario Kart 64. Yeah, that's about it. It's good to see so many DK characters and there are vehicles available as well. So, yeah, the DK crew's getting good representation. And do you guys think that Funky and Dixie being in this game shows how, they're showing how important they are as characters and that they may be, appearing in a future release sometime soon? All right, I'll go now. See ya.
Thank you for the call, DJ Cat. And I can't agree that it's the best Mario Kart game since Mario Kart 64, but if you don't think about it, sure.
The competition's not that good.
I mean, look, Mario Kart 8, character roster aside, Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart game since Mario Kart 64. But,
that's true. But I think it's all marginal because it's like, which one of these is a better hot dog?
It's Luigi holding a sausage.
I don't know. Luigi has a sausage. I keep forgetting that. I don't know how I could forget that for even a moment.
I keep bringing it up because that's an actual character in the game. Luigi holding a big sausage. Okay, so, all right, yeah. But, it's, it is fun because also, if you become friends with people in the game, if you share your friend codes, then collectively you get more coins if your friends reach a certain point, a combined point threshold at the end of every tour. So it's advantageous to be friends with people in the game. So yeah, follow DJ Cat's advice and check out the DK Vine forum thread on Mario Kart Tour.
And we're not even going to point out the business reason behind why they would motivate you to trick your friends into downloading the slot machine. Because it doesn't matter. It's still fun to do things with your friends.
It is.
Please gamble responsibly.
Yes. But as far as Dixie...
But there was a question in there.
Yeah, Dixie and Funky.
In that call.
Is this... does this indicate that Dixie and Funky, might be used down the road for other things? Well, I think they needed warm bodies to, get people to gamble their dollars. And I think that, while Dixie wouldn't be the obvious choice because she hasn't been in Mario Kart before, and their method of adding new characters usually revolves around putting a silly costume on an existing character and selling that as a variant. So again, Luigi with the big sausage is an actual variant in the game of Luigi. It could go either way, honestly, because I am surprised Dixie's in it, quite honestly. Funky, it makes sense to bring back because he was already in Mario Kart. Dixie, on the other hand, it's like, what? Why would you do that? Like, yeah, I mean, it worked for me because I spent $40 to get her, but I don't know. Maybe they do have plans for Dixie.
Yeah, I don't think it means anything.
I'm not.
My point of view is it doesn't mean anything about anybody's thinking within Nintendo or anything that might happen with a future Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, I
don't think any of it is connected in any way. But it's still neat to see.
I'm not saying, yeah, absolutely means they're going to use Dixie, but they're like, oh, we got Dixie on the brain. Hey, we've got this Dixie Kong model. We can put this in Mario Kart Tour and get some foolish American to spend $40 on her. Won't that be the day? I'm not saying it's possible, but it's possible. But
it is possible.
That could also mean they're doing a game with Luigi holding a big sausage. Who knows? So
Sign me up.
I would play that game. All right, let's take our next call.
Hey, this is Jeff's friend, G-Mancer. Although friend is a loose term because we've been kind of in a scruddle, he owes me money and he does not want to pay me back. So if he is co-hosting this episode, hey Jeff, pay me back now. If he's not hosting the show, please pass a message that he owes G-Mancer money. But on the topic of this week, my question is, there's currently 4 cons. What outfits would you give them each? Because this game has a lot of outfits, some new and some like based on old costumes, like some of the Mario ones. Yeah. What fun, random, weird ass costumes would you give each of the four Kongs? Bye.
Jeff, why do you owe G-Man?
Yeah, so I feel like I have to address that. A couple things there. One, did he say that we're having a Squirtle?
Yeah, I heard Squirtle. Why are you having a Squirtle with G-Man, sir?
Yeah. We're having a Squirtle. Two, I don't owe him money, though. So that's weird. This is news to me. But I guess, it'll sort itself out. But that's what you get when you sign up for Jeff Bucks, which are only usable in Jeff slot machines. But then there was the other part of the call, which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Which is the question of costumes.
This is actually a good way to end the episode, because I sort of wanted to end it on this anyway. Sort of like how Dustin predicted the game we were going to play at the end of last episode.
Yeah, it's a game.
G-Man now provided us with our outro for this episode. So, yeah, we made light of Luigi holding the big wiener, and there's Peach in the wedding dress, and Mario in his tux, and Mario as Bob the Builder, and you've got a mountain climber Wario, and you've got a lot of weird character variants in this game. And aside from arguably Donkey Kong Jr. Being a character variant of Donkey Kong, Gibbon got in some hot water bringing that up on the last episode we did of this, because people didn't agree with that assessment. But I see it.
People can be wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong about Mario Kart Tour. People can be wrong about that. We're all wrong at some point in our life. We just have to own up to it. But there aren't any real costume character variants for the Kongs, any of the Kongs in this game. Like there are multiple Marios, Luigis, Peaches, Daisies, Paulines, Warios, Waluigis, Yoshis, Toads. I mean, basically everyone has a costume variant except for the Kongs. And Jeff, you were hoping I always want to say Mario versus Donkey Kong. You wanted the Bowser versus Donkey Kong team rally to introduce some costume variants for the Kongs. We didn't get any of that, but that's where I first started thinking about it. Like, well, what would be something pre-established or something brand new? Because a lot of this stuff is just made up, like Luigi with the sausage. What could be used for the Kongs as an alternate costuming variant, but treated as a unique character in this game? What could be used for any of them?
I've got 4 in mind. I just thought of them as we've been talking.
Okay.
I've got 4 ideas. Should we alternate ideas, or how do you want to do
I didn't prepare really anything this time around.
I didn't either.
Okay.
I'm purely improv here.
Why don't...
So I could go first if you want. And then
Just unload. Unload all over me, Jeff.
Unload it. Okay, so Donkey Kong gets a variant that's called Donkey Kong parentheses Businessman. And Businessman Donkey Kong is based on the fact that Donkey Kong wears a tie.
Yeah.
But this version of Donkey Kong would be wearing a full suit and have a briefcase, and his hair would be slicked back like he's, some kind of Wolf of Wall Street type Donkey Kong. Someone that you really just don't like as a person. That's the new Donkey Kong. Okay. Diddy Kong is rap star Diddy Kong. P Diddy Kong. Turn that hat backwards, give him the sunglasses and the boombox, and just to add to it, put a cool gold chain on his neck, and have the chain be like one of his gold stars that are on his shirt, but instead of it being on the shirt, it's on the chain. It's on a gold chain. And maybe his item could be the item that gets you gold coins, because he's like, gold chain dudes. I don't know. That's Diddy Kong. Then there's Funky Kong. And this one is not so interesting. It's just the first thing that came to my head, but it would be like maybe a disco Funky Kong, where he's like got a afro and a whole sequin jumpsuit.
Why not just add Swanky Kong then, Jeff?
All right. Then I'll do something else. All right, Funky Smelling Kong.
What?
So Funky Smelling Kong is not funky because of his personality. He's funky because of his rank odor.
Oh.
Because this Funky lives in the sewers.
Different meaning of the word.
Yes. Right. So remember when he was like a grease monkey? Let's just really like emphasize that and have him covered in nasty filth and have flies, little flies coming off of him.
Stink lines.
And he lives in the trash. Stink lines. Like cartoon style. Yeah, absolutely. Funky smelling Kong. And then finally Dixie Kong, obviously, we'll go with the Confederate outfit, which isn't it's just a reenactment.
Right.
Somebody has to play the Confederates in the reenactment. And it's a historical thing. It's not about preserving the ideals of the Confederacy, which we don't agree with, but it would be like a reenactment outfit, and she'd have, I don't know, a flag or like a little drum kit or whatever they had. Maybe she's missing limbs. I don't know, Hyle. But Confederate Dixie Kong seems like a no-brainer.
So all of these characters would be added in the problematic tour, which would be a 2-week tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Some of them seem
I
okay.
I like Stinky Funky. That one was solid. So all right, here's mine. All right. So, you know how we're having the wedding tour in the game right now? I say we add the funeral tour down the line, and we could have the 4 Kongs, but they would be mourning. And this would, you could retroactively apply it. Like, you'd say they're plucked from time from Wrinkly Kong's funeral. And so,
Right, circa that gap between Donkey Kong Land 3 and Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
When Cranky murdered her.
Right around the time that Donkey Kong got back from Mario Golf Game Boy Color and he found out Wrinkly was sick. So Donkey Kong can have,
And she got eaten by the banana birds.
Well, no, they didn't kill her. Her body was just eaten by the banana birds because they were hungry and they weren't being fed.
Right, like after she died. Yeah, I don't blame the banana birds for this. You can't blame them.
So, it's just the Kong's normal attire, but all black. So Donkey Kong has a black tie, Diddy has the black baseball cap and shirt, Dixie has the black beret, Funky, just a black do-rag and his cutoffs. He can have all black cutoffs. But you could also have corresponding carts. So imagine Donkey Kong's cart is just Wrinkly Kong's casket that he's riding around on, and occasionally it'll like pop open and her bones will come out, and that could even be his item. His item could be his grandmother's bones, and they fall out in the track. That's just one of many ideas you could go with.
Love that.
I would spend $40.
And the glider would be like her ghost.
Yeah.
The glider would be like her nightgown that she died in. I would buy this, but I would want Diddy Kong with his black t-shirt and his black hat. I would specifically want him to hold the hat in his hands at all times. Like he's taken the hat off his head to show respect.
Absolutely. Like little John at JFK's funeral.
Well, yeah, we could get JFK in there. I mean, he's famous for riding in a car.
The Dealey Plaza would make a great track in the game.
Right?
Yeah.
They go to real life locations like London, Paris, Sydney.
Where's
do
Dallas? Why isn't Dallas in the game?
While we're there, we might as well head down to the Bay of Pigs.
That's when Professor Chops gets added to the game, obviously.
Is that probably it?
This has been a File 2 production. Que rico.